Alright, so this is just a video of two specific knives that I feel are really great when it comes to some of the Cutco products. First thing I want to do is kind of talk about knife care. When you are cutting with your knives, you need to have something that's going to be softer on the knives. If you're making this sound on your cutting board as you're chopping through your carrots or whatever, that's actually not a positive thing. It's kind of like you're hammering on the cutting board, and no matter what cutting surface you're cutting on, that can be bad. So what you want to do is you want to use slicing motions or rocking motions when you are cutting, and that will allow it so that your knife isn't getting as big of a beating as it could. Another thing is the type of cutting surface, the type of material, is you should have something that is softer. Woods are decent and plastics are probably a little softer, but there are different hardnesses of plastics too. So Cutco makes probably the softest kind of material I know. It's called polypropylene. Makes cutting boards through those. They're kind of great themselves. This is the smallest version. It's kind of raised up on legs. It's got little rubber pegs underneath so it doesn't slip around as you're using it. And then it has these juice grooves on there. So as you slide it onto your plate, then the juices from your tomato don't get all over your plate as well. So the first piece I want to explain is the spatula spreader. It looks kind of like a paint spackle, but it's very, very flexible. It's very awesome. A lot of people are like, what do I use that for? But it actually is one of the most exciting tools I've used before. The thing is, if you know anything about Cutco, they cut incredibly. They stay sharp a lot longer than typical knives. But this edge here is designed to stay sharp for 7 to 10 years. Obviously with proper use, according to what I've kind of mentioned. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of explain some different uses for this one. I'll just show you with this tomato that it has an excellent cutting edge, and so it's great for something that if you eat sandwiches, something you're going to put on a sandwich. It's also great for, I love it for avocados. You kind of go around the avocado, twist it open, get the pit out, and then you can cut out the insides of the avocado. But the coolest thing is, once you do that, you can take all your makings of, like, say your salad or whatever, and then you can take the non-sharp part against your bowl, and you can stir, like, if you had a bigger bowl, you can stir up your salad with the very thing that you cut up all your ingredients for the salad with, which is pretty cool. And then the next thing I wanted to show is this guy right here. This is a Santoku style knife. It's Japanese, and the cool thing about it is, if you watch cooking shows, they like this kind of knife, but you can put your hand on here as you're chopping, and it gives you a little bit more leverage, which is great. But it has a lot of different uses. One is, the only thing touching the cutting board right here is the tip, so you can drag your knife through your food, and the only thing getting dull is the tip of the knife itself, so the rest of the blade stays sharp longer. Another great thing is you can use it as a chopping knife, and so if you're cutting an apple or an onion, yes, sometimes you have to like lift it up and go down, but make sure you're not slamming it down like I said earlier. But once you do get it to a point where you can actually chop it a smaller piece, what you want to do is you want to leave the tip on the cutting board itself, and then use that rocking motion. And as you're pushing through the food, if you push a little kind of forward, then it also makes it a little bit easier to do as well. So then you can chop up your piece, into small pieces. Another cool feature of this is how thick it is. You can scoop it up. You can kind of do the same thing with this guy right here. You can scoop things up after you chopped it, but you can scoop up the pieces after you've chopped it. The difference between this blade right here and this blade right here is, this one has teeth on it. It's not a serrated edge, it cuts like a straight edge, but the teeth allow you to use it more for a slicing motion, and the straight edge is more of a chopping motion. So kind of think about the two different kind of edges as an axe and a saw. But those are the two pieces I wanted to kind of highlight today. Hope you got some good stuff and some valuable things out of it, and we'll see you next time.